Hello, so this evening we're going to take the Aermacchi MB-339 for a trip through the Mach loop. We're at Llanbedr in Wales. I've had the MB-339 almost since Flight Simulator first came out. It was one of the earliest military jets that arrived. It may have been the first fast jet even in the game. Anyway, we're going to get back in it, get it up and running, and take it for a flight through the Mach loop in Wales. So I'm going to be referring to some scribbled old instructions, and I'll try and find my way around the cockpit and remember where things are. So batteries on, generators on, JPT limiter was over here. I'm not sure what JPT stands for, and no doubt somebody in the comments will tell me. Turn the GPS on, which is over there. Turn the radios on, which is over here somewhere. Anti-skid goes to norm. Fuel shutoff gets opened. We crack the throttle. We turn the beacon light on. We turn the servo. Part of the fuel system is this AIL servo. I don't know what it stands for. Again, someone will probably tell me. We'll go and turn the nav lights on as well while we're at it. And then we can go up over here, turn on the master start switch, and press the start button. Did that stay in? There it goes. And then while we're waiting for the engine to start, we'll pull the canopy down and hit the canopy lock. And with a bit of luck, it'd be interesting to see if the master caution goes out on its own, because I think the last thing to go out will be AIL servo from memory. No, you have to clear this yourself. Okay, so we're just waiting for the aeroplane to warm up. So from memory, if I look outside, yeah, the flaps and the air brakes will be extended by default, so you have to toggle the controls to get them to retract, like so. So obviously once the aircraft's powered up, you get a nicely drawn crew inside, which I think is really, really lovely. It's actually a really well done model, isn't it? The material modelling on it is fantastic. Now I can't remember if it was always this good, but it's certainly very, very good. Anyway, off the parking brake, throttle open, and we're rolling. So we'll sit up in the cockpit just for the purposes of taxiing. We'll remove this sight because we're not going to be blowing anything up. Typically I don't fly fast jets in Flight Simulator. The only ones, apart from the Starfighter, the Hawk and this, I haven't bothered with the F-16 or the F-14, although I did go and buy a couple of them in the early days, but I've actually deleted them because they were so poor. I tend to stick to DCS for military aircraft. Okay, so we're just taxiing out to the runway here at Llanbedr. Notice the airplane swaying slightly, that's really nicely done. Okay, you'll put that onto the runway, so we go for flaps for takeoff are set. Just slow down a little bit to make the turn, knowing that the aeroplane's going to sway slightly. So Llanbedr's just up the coast from the Mach loop. Full throttle. Whoa, I should have not changed the view then when I did that. So there's a bit of a crosswind today, having to fight it slightly. So we'll rotate and let the aeroplane cast it into the wind slightly. There we go. Gear up. Flaps up. Hold attitude with a bit of back pressure. And we are in the air and cooking on gas. So it's very, very responsive and very stable. Incredibly stable, actually. There's hardly any adverse yaw from the ailerons. So it must be very even. I'm not sure how accurate the flight model is. If, for example, if we pull this through a loop, let's just keep an eye on the attitude indicator as we do this. We have got enough speed. We've just gone over the top, so we're falling in now. So keep pulling hard, and it doesn't vibrate. The airframe doesn't object at all. It's too smooth, if that makes any sense. You'd expect it to start shuddering, and it doesn't. Okay, so we're making our way into the estuary here, and then we'll follow through the Mach loop. So I'm going to press F, and I'm going to push forwards until we are right in the front of the canopy. I'm going to open the engines up to full throttle, and we'll go fly the Mach loop. So I have been slowly learning some of the place names. I'm not sure if I'll keep up with the aeroplane though, in terms of naming them, unless we do a couple of laps, and I do naming places on the first lap, maybe at a slower speed, and then go flat out on the second lap. But I think seeing repeated laps is quite boring, so we'll see. See if I can name places. So the first town we're looking for is Dolegau on the way up here. So as we make the sweeping right and then left turn, following the river before we turn into the Mach loop, that's Dolegau that we're flying over the top of. It's just down here. You can see it on the hillside. Yeah, so if I slow down a little bit, we're going at 75% on the throttle. So this is Dolegau. I'm hoping I get these pronunciations right. It's quite amusing. My other half had many of her childhood holidays in Wales, so she knew all of these place names without even thinking about it. Okay, so then we sweep round the back of here and double back on ourselves. So we stay on this river until we can see this rising, and then we double back. Quite a high G. Turn. So we're looking to exit here onto the plain behind us. There we go. And you can see the entrance is over to the left of us. Can't quite see it at the moment. There it is. There's the entrance into the Mach loop. Let's just center our view up again. So these hills either side of the entrance do have names. I can't remember them off the top of my head. So you typically overbank to get onto the line of the road here, and roll it out and fall into the valley. As you fall down towards the turn, so we're going to turn left as we follow this hillside round to the left, we're going to pass over two villages. One's called Chorus Ushaf, and the other one is just Chorus. So we've gone a bit low there, so we'll just correct for that. So we're going a bit more slowly than we normally would. So we'll do a full throttle on the second turn. So this is Chorus underneath us now. Well, that was Chorus Ushaf, sorry. This is Chorus. Quite difficult to do low-level flight and look at a map at the same time. So we're just about to come over Escargiliog as well. Then Pampertog down here. So over to the right in the plain here is Macuncliffe, which is the place name that the Mach loop is named after. Okay, so now we've got a pretty straight run up the valley here. So you can pretty much relax. We can have some fun with the outside views. watching the aeroplane zooming along. Just missing the pylons and the trees. Okay, so the thing you're looking for along here, there's a hill where there's trees on one side of it, and at that point you turn left in front of it. Obviously we're flying over the top of the main road at the moment, scaring the motorists to death. It is called Malwood. This is probably not how you pronounce it though. Dandinus Mudwood. Mordwood, sorry. I'm probably murdering these place names, but this aeroplane is so easy to fly. And then we just follow the valley round. Come through the final pass. Obviously this is actually a lot easier at speed. So you bank left over the top and just let the nose fall, and it follows the line of the hill. And you eventually, after a big sweeping turn, end up coming back towards the entrance of the Mach loop. And there it is right in front of us. So we're going to go full throttle this time and go lower and faster. Let's see what the MB-339 is really like. We've done our sightseeing tour. Now it's the business end of the tour. Then once we've done a lap at low level, we'll go back in towards Lambeda and land. So we're staying left here on purpose because we're going to do a hard right to try and get some sort of turn radius on this turn here before we go right again, and we try to avoid this hill, which we can never make in a fast jet, and then we swoop down, follow the line of this hill, and try to anticipate the turn around the tree at the top of the hill. You can just see it in the corner of the screen up there. Starting to get some high G going on. Let's get really low through these fields for a bit of fun. Pop up over the top of the trees. Back down again, keep an eye on the telegraph wires. Back up again. Don't get much reaction time at 400 knots. We're doing about 450 knots, by the way. So yeah, this plane does help a lot. I think it's probably too stable, if anything. I can't quite imagine that any aeroplane is as stable as this. Okay, so there's the hill in front of us with the trees on one side, so we go to the left. And then we're looking for the dark hillside on the left. We're going to sweep around it, avoiding the trees. climbing uphill, follow the road, sweep into the overpass, roll the other way, let the nose fall as we go over the top, and we're back through again, and back going, following the hillside round, back towards the entrance, which is right in front of us again. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That is the Mach loop. It's quite a simple route really. So now we are out of trouble. Shall we have a play with the views again? Seems to be its party piece, doesn't it? Okay, back to Lambeda. We press F, back inside the cockpit. See, it indicates their speed. We're doing about 400 knots. 3,500 feet and ascending. Just pull the engine back to 50%. The one thing I think this aircraft does get right is it seems quite cramped, which obviously fast jet cockpits are. So we're holding about 300 knots at the moment. I don't think there's much in the way of wind today at all. A few boats out in the bay. So let's see if we can go straight in for a change. Try out these air brakes. So the speed is falling off dramatically. The mirror is absolutely blinding us. Okay, get out. It'd be really useful if that mirror didn't do that. Yeah, I can twist them. Okay, so we're looking for the puppy lights. We're a little bit high, so we're just losing some height. We're almost on speed. There we go, we're on the right height now. Oh, it's drifting with that crosswind again. Let's get the nose down. Get back onto the centre line. It really doesn't want to get back on the centre line. That wind is really pushing us. We'll roll long and pull back onto the taxi area. The taxiway, I mean. God, it's been a long day. That was good fun. So it's interesting, isn't it? It pays sometimes to go back through the aeroplanes you've got in your hangar and to go and revisit them. Because sometimes you install the updates but still don't get in them because there's a newer aeroplane out that you haven't tried for, or that you're more interested in, I should say. And you end up forgetting that there are actually some fantastic aeroplanes around. Okay, I presume we can get out this way. Go and park next to the what is it? Is it an Archer? Some description, a PA-28 of some form. Be interesting to see how big this is compared to it. It's not so much bigger, is it? Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed that. We should be able to pull this back somehow. And I can't remember how. It's been a long, long time. Anyway, I'm not going to worry too much about shutting it down. So hopefully you enjoyed that. That was the Aermacchi MB-339 made by India Fox Techo in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we had a look at flying the Mach loop with it. See you again soon.